Alright, game 1 of a finals is played by the players, but game 2 is coached. Because now both staffs have the film, the data, and 48 minutes of evidence about what worked and what didn't. So the real question before Friday isn't about the stars, it's this: which coach makes the smarter adjustments? Because that, more than anything, decides game 2. On one bench, Mitch Johnson, trying to fix a team that beat itself. On the other, Mike Brown, trying to protect a winning formula without getting predictable. So let's break down the chess match, the specific levers each coach can pull, and the trade-offs that come with every single one of them. This is Game is Culture. Real quick before we get into it, if you like breakdowns that actually show the math instead of just yelling takes at you, go hit subscribe. It's free and it genuinely helps, so click it. First, the number that frames the entire adjustment war. Turnovers. The Spurs gave it away 13 times. The Knicks just 8. That 5-possession gap was the game. So almost every adjustment Mitch Johnson makes points at fixing that. And almost every adjustment Mike Brown makes points at protecting it. The whole chess match orbits around this one stat. Because a 5-possession swing in a 10-point game is enormous. It means the margin of defeat is sitting inside the mistakes, so the coach who controls that battle in game 2 controls the game. Everything else, the shooting, the matchups, the rotations, is built on top of that foundation. So here's Mitch Johnson's to-do list for San Antonio. 4 moves. Trap Brunson to get the ball out of the hands of the man who dropped 30. Attack the rim relentlessly, because when they drove, they got fouled and went 20 of 25 at the line. Get De'Aaron Fox going early after he managed just 7. And above all, simplify to cut those 13 turnovers down. Fix those and the Spurs are a different team. And he has a personnel card to play too, because his young bench, Dylan Harper and Julian Champagnie, were among his most efficient players in game 1. So Johnson can lean into the youth, give them more run, and ride the hot hands. Sometimes the best adjustment isn't a new scheme, it's simply trusting the guys who are actually making shots. But every move has a cost. Trap Brunson and you leave shooters open. Crash the offensive glass harder and you give up transition. Play the young bench more and you risk their inexperience in crunch time. So Johnson isn't just picking adjustments. He's picking which risks he's willing to live with on the sport's biggest stage. Now, Mike Brown's challenge is the opposite kind of hard. Because how do you adjust when you just won? The danger for New York is getting predictable or complacent, so Brown's job is to protect the formula. Keep forcing turnovers with active hands, gang rebound to deny the Spurs the second chances they won in game 1, and keep the pace slow, in the mud where the Knicks are most comfortable. Don't fix what isn't broken, just reinforce it. And Brown has counters ready for San Antonio's likely fixes. If the Spurs start making their open threes, he can tighten the closeouts and chase shooters harder. If they attack the rim more, he can funnel them into help. The team that won game 1 doesn't have to reinvent itself. It just has to anticipate the punch coming and have an answer ready. Real quick though, if you've made it this far, you've really gotta hit subscribe. I'm not going to beg, but I am going to ask, so hit it and I'll wait. And the biggest adjustment of all might be about minutes. Because coaching a finals isn't only about schemes, it's about who's on the floor and when. Mitch Johnson has a real decision to make. His young bench, Harper and Champagnie, outplayed some of his veterans in game 1. So does he shorten his rotation and trust the kids in big moments, or protect them from the pressure? That single call could swing the whole night. And Mike Brown has his own lineup riddle. Josh Hart was a plus 22, doing all the dirty work, but he gives nothing as a scorer. So how many minutes can New York hide a non-shooter before the floor gets too cramped? When do you ride the glue, and when do you need more offense? The bench and the closing 5 are levers both coaches will be pulling all night.
And then there's the in-game chess, the part you can't plan in advance. The mid-game timeout to stop a run. The defensive switch to throw at a hot hand. The gamble to go small or to supersize. Game 2 won't just be decided by the adjustments made on Thursday's whiteboard. It'll be decided by the ones made on the fly, in the chaos of the fourth quarter. So who has the harder job? In a strange way, the Spurs' job is easier because they have obvious fixable problems. Stop turning it over, make open shots, use your bench. There's a clear roadmap. The Knicks have the harder, subtler task, staying disciplined, avoiding complacency, and resisting the urge to change a winning approach while their opponent throws new looks at them. And that's the classic dynamic after game 1. The losing team usually makes the bigger leap because they have more to fix and more desperation to fuel it. The winning team has to match that desperation without panicking. So the question is whether Mike Brown's group can keep its composure while Mitch Johnson's group plays with its back against the wall. But here's the honest reality of coaching. Because adjustments only matter if the players execute them. A coach can draw up the perfect trap, but if a defender is a half-second slow, the shooter still gets the open three. So the whiteboard sets the plan. The players decide if it works. The best adjustment in the world dies the moment someone doesn't run to the right spot. And sometimes the biggest adjustment is just make your shots. No clever scheme fixes a 26% night from 3. So both coaches know the secret truth. Half of coaching is strategy. The other half is hoping your stars simply play better than they did last time. Friday will test both halves. So I'm gonna leave it with you. Does the desperate, problem-solving Spurs staff make the bigger leap in Game 2? Or does Mike Brown's group prove that the team that won also adjusts the best? Because the chess match might decide the whole series. So tell me down in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe. We're in a race to 1,000 subscribers, so please join the family.